Thanks, Mizo. All right, let me give. I'm gonna give everybody a little bit to get in. So we got Facebook, Instagram, Rumble. We got X on here live streaming. Uh, what's the other platform? I think we had TikTok as well. So welcome in everybody. We're gonna be starting in a second. Obviously, Mizo, everybody that's on the team here, if you can work on getting everybody from Discord over, making sure they have the right link, that'd be great. I'm gonna actually close the shades a little bit because it looks a little too bright in here. Might be better. I think it's actually this light that's off to the side here, so I'll just scoot over. All right. Hopefully everyone's doing all right today. I think I actually might need like a backlight or something on. I think that might be what's doing it. But I'll just turn the face. How's that looking, Mizo? See me all right? I'm gonna change the layout here. There we go. Boom. Boom. All right. Hopefully everybody can see me and hear me across the platform. So um we're going to get started here. I have like a client and people that I'm texting right now too. So I'm gonna try to make this short. It'll be about 20 to 30 minutes. I wanna take this opportunity to address mainly questions, a lot of the different concerns that people had, asking about the project and wanting to know what Altura really is. If there's any time my mic goes out, again, I'm still trying to make this work here from a distance. So call me out on it. I'll try to get it fixed right away, but hopefully we're good. I'm also just kind of stalling another second as I give everyone else just a few more seconds to get in from the different platforms. But yeah, hopefully you guys are having a great weekend so far. It is Saturday here. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon, so hopefully not too late for the rest of you. But um, again, just take a break this afternoon. If you've been interested in our project at all, take the time to get to know what we're about, and I think we're ready to go. I think I'm gonna there we go. Flip my camera back. Okay. And then obviously use the chat too. So, Mizo, if you want to moderate Discord and make sure there's no questions on that end of things, that is that would be perfect. And then I could just take it from there. Otherwise, I'm just gonna kind of address the questions that we've had today. So again, welcome to the Ascended Podcast, where we dive deep into the cutting edge, world of blockchain, entrepreneurship, crowdfunding, startups, technology, software, subscriptions, all of the things that an entrepreneur is going to need to launch themselves in one place. I'm your host, Caleb Schilke, and I'm a passionate explorer of Web3. I've started 7 businesses. I've sold a few to investors across the country. One of my most recent ones was sold to an Arizona investor. And I invested in technology and partner projects along with digital economies as well. I'm huge into crypto. Today, though, we're going to talk for about 25 minutes about Altura's project and describe exactly why we're different from everybody else. What is this revolutionary protocol that we've launched that's basically transforming how investors talk, trade, interact with each other inside of an ecosystem where they don't have to keep searching for a set of answers in multiple different spots, but they instead can find everything from a membership in one place. That is revolutionary. As much as we like to think we have all-in-one tools and all-in-one solutions, the best thing that you can have that is all in one is a community, because you have the people that can help you find the answers to about any problem you'll face starting up a business, a side hustle, or even not even having an idea and looking to get into a venture, figuring out what you even want to do. Those interactions, the community building is what tells you and helps you figure out those passions. So whether you're tuning in from YouTube, guys, your X again, Facebook, any of the platforms, TikTok, Rumble here, Discord, drop your questions in the chat and let's get started. So the first thing I want to address is what is Altura from a basic standpoint. So from the white paper, Altura is a smart contract platform built to empower entrepreneurs by turning these NFTs into an access pass into a community that basically will provide them all the resources and money that they need to launch their business. And yes, I did say money. We do actually offer specific funds for you guys to go ahead and launch your startup again. And you might not have an idea right now. That's great, but you're putting yourself in the position in the environment where you can have that at some point as you get going. Because almost anybody that's trying to make it to the big leagues, from what I've seen and what I've personally experienced, needs some funding. They need funds. They need a network of people to answer questions. Those are kind of the biggest two things that I want to emphasize throughout the majority of this stream, because they're what holds people back from being successful too often. So the core innovation here is smart NFTs, and that's the technology that makes us different, that drives what we do from any other ecosystem out there. Unlike standard NFTs, these are dynamic, right? Their properties can change over time based on real world events or even, player actions, things like that. I call them players, but it's really just a member in our community, an operator. You could use a million different terms for it. But basically, in real time, you join our community, your NFT can be verified by the blockchain. And that's why we use that technology. It's like having a security guard outside your physical club. But the goal with Altura is to be a worldwide presence. We want to have hubs in major cities. We want to be having global events and meetups and kind of like TED Talk, right? Strategy sessions where we share kind of that hidden curriculum to teach you guys how actual founders operate. Not just the fluff that I got in my business marketing degree and my consulting capstone of just make sure the client feels cared for and make sure you're very clear about your demands and things like that. Like those skills don't really help too many people. So how does this work? Well, I'm going to actually see if I can pull up the white paper itself. And again, I'm on my iPad, but I want to try to walk you guys through the actual white paper. I just don't know if I can put it up for you guys. I would love if Mizo, if you, I don't know if it'll allow you to share your screen on my behalf, and we could do it that way. Or if Mimi, if you're in here too as well, any of you guys. But otherwise, I'm just gonna read through it. If you're looking for the white paper, I will drop the link inside of this Rumble right now, and then you guys can just click on it and hop in as well. So let me paste it in the chat. Boom. Okay. Sending it to all platforms right now. There you go. So if you're on YouTube, if you're on Instagram, whatever it is, click on that link, pull up the white paper, and we'll go through it together. So the first biggest point in here is it's a syndicate for entrepreneurs, a launchpad, and a private society designed to fund, educate, and scale founders to their fullest potential. Okay. So the biggest reason that we are different is because we have a limited supply and demand, right? The more people that have an interest in joining our program, and we've already gotten interest from a few thousand people, there's only going to be 8,000 access passes. And the crazy part is people can buy more than one, just like a concert ticket, right? You're not limited to just one pass. Somebody could come in and see this as an actual investment. Like you've seen CryptoPunks turn your $200 into $200,000 plus in the off season of crypto. Which will probably go up to $300,000-$400,000 when things pick back up. And so somebody could come in and buy 20 of those and take 20 away from other people, right? We're going to try to limit that. We don't want whales coming in and buying up all the access to our private syndicate. Obviously, we're trying to raise money, though. That's our priority. And so be quick, be limited, and be engaged with how you interact and be direct in taking action before anybody else. So how does this work? How do you get an NFT? Well, there's different phases, okay? So the first phase is called the whitelist. If you've never done an NFT project before, the whitelist comes first. That's your early access, right? Because we want to reward people that help us grow the movement before anybody else comes in, before we have the thousands of people coming in. So you guys, if you're chatting, if you're active in our program, you're going to level up. We actually have an automated system set up to award you like in-game XP for chatting. We just called it XP. You could call it, reputation or whatever you want to say. But it just gamifies it a little bit, makes it more fun. And if you reach level 5 right now, you're going to be whitelisted. So all that takes is being active for a few days. And again, we're running out of time because whitelist will open on October 1st in about 11 days. So the second phase is going to be phase 1, which is going to be zero point 0.1 Ethereum. The whitelist will sell for about 0.06 Ethereum. And then from the phase 2 and 3, we're going to be issuing 2,000, then 3,000, then 3,000 for the 3 phases. Whitelist is only going to have about 800 NFTs. So if you guys were confused about that, 800 could be sold on the whitelist. If we don't sell 800, which we might not, we may or we might not. We have a minimum, right? We only need to sell probably a couple hundred to really push our project forward, but we're allowing up to 800 to be sold. And it's actually a better thing if they don't sell right away. That's why we opened it up to such a big number, because we want those to get recycled back in. We're allowing the opportunity for more people to get started and invested early, but if they don't sell, that's fine, because we'll just sell them for a higher price after we continue to build up momentum. And that just puts more money back into our community. So again, it's an opportunity, but not everybody's going to take that. And that's fine, because both of us will win at the end. So who are we looking for? I already explained kind of what it is and how do you buy it. We are looking for people that show a certain thought process, somebody who believes in something and needs that before evidence. Not just needs that, but actually acts on it. Okay. So I've done that too many times with my businesses in the past. I've realized that the businesses that actually ended up being sold to investors and that I actually took off and made profitable were the ones that I was unafraid to go out and invest significant money in. Let's say I had $5,000 on a credit card I had to pay off, and then I had $5,000 in my bank account. Instead of paying off the card, right, the safe bet, I would go out and throw that $5,000 into marketing in a campaign that I was 90% sure was going to pay off. And most normal people would say that's an unnecessary risk. You should pay off your debts first. And like, I would usually agree with that. But in certain cases, I had to have belief to overcome those circumstances. If I didn't invest that money into marketing, the most recent business I had wouldn't have sold for as much as it did. And I wouldn't have gotten through that phase of sales. You guys understand what I'm saying? So there's so many times in business where you have to put the belief first. And even though you're still going to come back and say, this is scary, I don't know if I can actually follow through on it. That is the test. You're waiting for some event to happen to you too often, of like, and maybe an illness to, come into your life and challenge you to stand back up again. But a lot of times it's not a big catastrophic event that challenges you to change your life. It's just you having to double down on what you said you want to do. We lie to ourselves every day, and it's unfortunate, because the person you need the most in your corner most often is you. So Altura is built as a project. It's a protocol, because the only people that will actually invest, the way it's set up, right, charging you a couple $100 on the outside, means that you have to show belief before you ever enter. Because we don't have the $1 million fund. You investing in it is what creates the $1 million fund to allow other businesses to succeed and adds value to the community, which therefore boosts the price massively of your token. You guys see how that works? Because there's higher demand for it. So you have to show that on the front end. And I can't make you do that. That's a hard challenge that I'm putting up for you. Because if you can't display that skill, then more often than not, I can't come to you and say, here's $10,000, go ahead and start this AI company, because I don't know if you're going to be somebody that can follow through on what you're saying. Does that make sense? Right? So every time you go to an online event, an in-person meetup globally, you meet somebody that also shows their phone and they have one of these NFT tokens, you can say that guy understood. He understood the mission. This person proved that their belief in success is greater than accepting a $200 loss as a risk, right? Because if you see the potential in something, you have to do that and follow through. I don't want to continue too much on that point, but that's the kind of the whole point. I want it to be a tough decision. You should have something in your brain that really has to weigh that and still goes out and executes. By the way, I didn't mention how you guys actually get the NFTs. So if you're on the whitelist, I'm going to put a private link to go ahead and mint your NFT. Mint means essentially just purchase it like you would buy a digital item online. And then you hook up your crypto wallet and it'll get put into your crypto wallet. And then you can immediately go ahead and verify your ownership of that token. So the whitelist can actually start getting the benefits before anybody else. That's one of the biggest perks. So you guys get to start winning and utilizing the resources before the rest of the community comes in. And you get to be one of the premier members. You'll keep that status forever. So here's our roadmap. And I want to make it very clear that it's spanning decades and not just weeks. Other communities, right? You've heard of like Pudgy Penguins or the Bored Ape Yacht Club that, again, I've mentioned like Justin Bieber or Snoop Dogg bought a CryptoPunk, all these massive multi-million-dollar celebrities, right? They've built in these communities multi-billion-dollar ecosystems, starting from just simple JPEGs of like a cartoon character, right? Now, holders are sitting on assets that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can look up, go on OpenSea.com, the trading place for NFTs, and look up CryptoPunks. They're selling for 45 Ethereum minimum. That's the cheapest one you can buy on the market. And there's thousands of these. So basically, at $5,000 a pop, that's about 200 to 250,000 US dollars that one of these $200 investments made. The only reason they sold for that much is because they had celebrities like Snoop Dogg promoting their product. And I'm going to give you guys a secret. We already have planned promotions with similar celebrities. So we're already covering that. But they're also not doing what we're doing with the business investing, the startup funding, the education, the meetups, all the stuff we're going to have. So I see us actually passing that. I could see us at $400,000 for a token for a $300 investment. And I'm dead serious on that. That could be 1,000x return, which could quite literally retire you if you bought multiple of those. ALTURA follows the same model of scarcity and community, but with real world funding, education, and infrastructure layered in. This makes ALTURA not a collectible, but a ticket into an ecosystem to create generational wealth. Again, all of this stuff, guys, that I'm reading, that I'm telling you is in the white paper. So follow along and see exactly how I'm breaking this down. I'm going to talk about the philosophy and the mission for a second. So the path to entrepreneurship and why I really wanted to start this, it's hard. It's broken. Traditional banks lock founders out of outdated capital requirements. Venture capital firms, insider networks are kind of favored by them over first time builders. The people that actually need the money, right? The people that need that win to get off the ground, they get it a lot less than the people that have already found a way to struggle and win 20 times over because they have the resources. And it's unfortunate because it allows less and less people to enter the game in a more and more competitive market. And finally, universities. Too many of us go to college and take on massive debt while failing to deliver practical results. I went to the Air Force Academy partially because they covered my education. They allowed me to get a Ivy League almost level education in the US while also covering my costs. So I found a way to beat that system, but it's a very rare process to do what I did. So I didn't get that. I had to work for that opportunity. I was very, try hard, you could say, in school to get that. But most people, the 99% of people, aren't getting their college paid for because they didn't put that work in. And again, it's an unfortunate system that traps too many young adults where you guys might be watching this and making student loan payments already, and you need some way to pay that off quickly. Well, this might be one of your best bets. For the new wave of entrepreneurs, these barriers often feel impossible for you guys. Ambitious builders today want, what I've seen is three things, right? Speed. They want to get to where they want to be quickly. They want access. They want to feel like they have something that other people don't. And then they also want sovereignty. They want the ability to fly to Philadelphia and go to a meetup, or fly to Toronto and go to an ALTURA meetup, or go to London and have the same exact thing, right? Or Bangladesh, whatever it's going to be. It could be anywhere in the world, right? And those are the things that set you free. The opportunity to meet new people, to learn and have that paid for one time with nothing but a couple $100 and your belief in something greater. And everyone else that comes in later, the late majority that didn't believe as early as you did, are the people that will often make you rich. You're going to get insane offers to buy your token, and you're probably not going to take them because you're ideally claiming all of that value inside of our community. So here's where others fall short. I want to really differentiate ourselves. Most existing accelerators and startup programs look and feel pretty corporate. I'm in my hotel room right now. I'm in a hotel room filming this because I'm not built for the older world. I understand your problems. I've done the things that you guys are finding very difficult to survive in. They alienate these venture capital firms alienate younger entrepreneurs who need real community, who need people that are their age that say, "Here's how you post an Instagram reel for the first time. Here's how you actually get the algorithm to pick up on your community." Instead of just saying, drop a $5,000 ad budget into it, like your grandfather would say, who has that money? You don't have those resources. So you need advice from people who are in your shoes. I just got out of that. And I'm honestly, in a way, still battling that battle myself. So I can relate to you better than anyone else. And so can our team, our community, and we're going to be active and show that. So here's the vision behind that, right? Altura exists to correct that failure. We're creating the first syndicate driven launchpad. You might not even know what you want to do for a business. You might think it's going to be e-commerce today, and maybe in 2 weeks you'll meet this guy like Mizo that's in here, right? Or one of my followers that joins, and you might connect and talk about your passion for AI. And then one of you will say, "Hey, let's go build a lovable.ai application that using AI and write a coded website for ourselves to sell." A trading bot, for the stock market or something like that. And you guys partner up on that. You wouldn't have met that person if you didn't have the resources to, right? Too many of us just have to come home from school or come home from work, and we're limited in our ability to take the time to go out and meet people. I'm doing the hard work of advertising and finding these people on the front end. You would spend thousands of dollars, driving, taking plane trips to go network with people versus me spending the money to build the fire, build the flame up for people to come in and find you. That alone is worth thousands of dollars in my opinion. For the perfect business partner, I would pay thousands of dollars if I knew they'd have my back. And you guys only have to pay a couple $100. So just with one benefit, I would hope that's already covered the value of this NFT. There's also, again, capital, education, tools for every stage. How it works is when we invest in your AI startup, company that's gonna edit your videos for you, everyone else in the community will come and be your first users. They'll test your product. So you might have 5,000 people automatically taking your business from 0 users to 5,000. You could go sell that business tomorrow and say, I have 5,000 active users, and it would automatically have value because people in our community want to use it. And we get to benefit by allowing everyone to share that technology. You're going to end up getting a library of all these startups and resources that will be privatized to everyone else. They'll have to pay to get in, but you'll have free access because Altura as a organization is going to be a partial owner when we invest in your brand. Do you guys understand that connection? Is that clear? If it isn't clear, make sure you let me know in the comments. But I really want that to be clear. How much value we're painting out here. And speaking of values, I want to talk about our actual values as a brand because that should come up too. The first one, in my opinion, the most important one is sovereignty. I've always found sovereignty so important. Again, especially during my time in the military, where they're telling you where to go, where to eat, when to work, when to use the bathroom. Right, a lot of you are familiar with that just in school and systems like that. We want to escape the corporate and the financial gatekeepers that tell you when you can enjoy your life and when you have to come in and work. You want to take control back. There's three types of freedom. There's financial freedom, which is what most of you are going for. But there's also location freedom, being in a hotel on a weekend just because you can, and you have the financial freedom to back it, and you can go wherever you want. And the third type, does anybody know what it is? Financial, location, time freedom is the most important one for starting out, right? Because most people don't have it. Most people are trying to chase time freedom. They want to be able to take that night off, right? When you're so worked, when you're so stressed trying to get your startup off the ground, you want to be able to spend time with your family. You want to be able to see your wife and kids or whoever you have that's dear to you. And you don't get that back unless you have the resources to come and save you time. The whole focus, right? I'm trying to read the comments. Sorry, this is a concept you're talking about. Reality we live in. Yes, sir. I appreciate your comment, by the way. I The reality of it is too many of you guys don't have the time because you're just one person. So you need a team. Teams are expensive, and let's talk about that point, right? So too many of us have to find a team. Everyone wants to get paid. Nobody wants to work for free. Nobody wants to partner with you because people can't believe in each other anymore. So I'm coming and creating a system that's going to validate people's belief in each other before they ever get started. So you guys therefore have the means to trust one another because you have the token. So you've already proved the belief side. Do you guys see why we're doing that now? Okay. So additionally, you have to trust in one another, but you also need to outsource, right? You have to give that work off to someone else. I can't edit every single one of my videos, or I wouldn't be able to be on this podcast. I also wouldn't be able to run the community. I wouldn't be able to find marketing partners. I need people to help me with that. So how do I do that? Well, a lot of it comes from AI nowadays. AI can automate so many tasks from you. And that's the systems that other people are going to hand to you that will invest in as a protocol, and you're going to meet the people that know how to set those things up for you, right? It might be some guy, maybe you live in Los Angeles and you're going to meet somebody that lives in I don't know, Dubai or something like that, and he'll be able to help you across the world figure out a content system based on AI, and you might not have ever met them, right, in the real world otherwise. That's the utility. So we're driving this private network, a knowledge hub. I didn't talk too much about the knowledge hub. I want to go into that point again too. This is going to be a proprietary curriculum. Too many times, and I went to obviously a premier Ivy League equivalent university where I got educated on business, finance, investing, how to price options and stocks and retirement accounts, and how to manage people, how to use power and influence in organizations, how to network, how to sell things. I learned all the basic skills, which really did accelerate my entrepreneurship. But I found it too intermingled with the corporate fluff. All the nonsense of like this is the theoretical term for this is how this works. A lot of it doesn't honestly, frankly, apply in my life. And I kind of wasted a lot of time in most of those classes, only, handpicking a few things out. I'm gonna unwash that, right? I'm gonna take all the excess fluff out and just filter it down to the fine, gritty particles of these are the things that will drive you forward. I'm going to streamline a college education from one of the best universities in the country, along with my personal experience. And it's not just going to be me, too. If you go to any of our meetups, if you're staying in any of our online events for the holders of our NFTs, we're going to have special guests come in here that will pick. Some of you in the community that have already achieved success might come in and speak on that, right? We can feature case studies from those of you who have already achieved their success. Or we'll bring in outside guest speakers in my network or any of your networks. We're open to suggestions too, to come educate you guys. Ideally, could be bi-weekly, could be once a month, could be a routine, could be weekly for all we know. We're going to set up that schedule for you guys after the mint, and when we start getting a sign-up sheet and things like that going, and we start doing our outreach. A lot of the times the celebrities that we're promoting to that have specialty in e-commerce or trading or crypto will oftentimes come back and speak about their experience with our project, and we'll probably get them to give you guys some advice too. So imagine if you have a photo of you, with Dan Blazarian or something like that in our Rumble stream like this because you have access for $200, let alone anything else that I just spoke on, right? So that brings us to really why this matters. Unlike a lot of other speculative projects that just say join a cool club like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, I hope so far I've told you guys how we serve a purpose as membership keys. Any one of these tokens unlocks a door, and that door lets you into Altura. Right now, it's all free. We're still going to have free content, but you're not going to get any of the real education unless you're a member because you've shown you believed otherwise. And we can, no holds barred, tell you guys exactly, step by step, what to do because we don't have to worry about getting banned. We don't have to worry about, saying certain things. We can tell you what works and what doesn't. All truth is accepted there. It's going to be awesome. But this is a launch pad that serves real results. We're going to measure our success. And again, we're going to make this public information, which should, on our social media, drive more people in. We're not going to stop advertising after the project. That's going to be the beginning, really, of our long-term advertising because we want to drive more and more attention. We want to hit 250,000 followers for 8,000 NFTs. And if you own 2 of those, then you own, again, 1/4,000th of the tokens, and there's 246 other thousand people that want your token and are going to keep paying more and more money, outbidding each other to buy it. And you believed first, so you showed them why the value's there. And we did everything we said we were going to do, because that's our role in this, making sure that you guys can trust us and that we actually deliver all of these promises on time and accurately. That's what I've learned from the military. That is my role. Be where I need to be on time, get the job done, find a way to execute no matter what you encounter, and think through the problems critically until you find the right results. Hopefully you guys see my leadership in this and can understand that it really does matter who's leading the program too. I have shown my success in my businesses. My credibility is listed on my Instagram. You can see my entire entrepreneurship journey. I have nothing I'm holding back from you. Using my public government name. So again, if I rug pulled you guys know exactly who I am, what I'm doing. You guys know how to reach out to me. So if you really think it's gonna end up like that, like any of these other projects, then I'm doing a really bad job at protecting myself from what happens afterwards. So I think that alone adds credibility to all of this, because most of these projects, right, they just hide behind a profile picture, an NFT picture. They want to look like they're in the brand, but they won't come on stream as often as I have almost every day of the week and show their face to talk about how much they believe in this. And I care, right? Because this might be the last chance we have to do something of meaning before the next crypto cycle, which is about to start in about a month now after the Fed lowered interest rates. That crypto cycle is going to change everything. We already know how generational wealth as a concept exists, right? And was made through crypto. It's going to come again. And this might be the last chance before AI comes in and optimizes it, before it drives, value reductions where there's no opportunity to buy a coin that's going to go to the moon, because AI has already overanalyzed the market and either bought it or not. And these massive corporations are going to steal the money that you guys work so hard to feel like you had a chance to do on your own. And this is a spoiler alert, but there may be a cryptocurrency that we will start after this project. We do plan on building an entire ecosystem. And if you're a holder, I can promise you guys, if you're holding NFT for $200, you could end up getting gifted enough crypto to make you almost $1 million in the future, right? If you hold enough NFTs. That alone could be of insane value because of what we're going to do with it. And I'll talk about that. I'm not going to explain everything, but I will talk about that to the holders after the mint. But right now, we're taking it one step at a time. So let's talk about the phases again. When we sell, right, the whitelist, that's going to be reserved for those who commit early. It's going to reward the earliest believers and set the foundation for the syndicate. We're going to start talking about what's actually going to happen to our whitelist, so you guys will know before anybody else. You guys are also going to get to have a significant role in voting in what happens during the mint. You're going to get to help decide the pricing, who we actually use to endorse our products, things like this, because you believed. And we're going to start rewarding you from honestly day zero from when it launches. That brings us into the three public mints. Tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars is going to get reinvested into marketing to drive insane value into our community fund. Entry pricing is going to be positioned according to where Ethereum and the market's at that time, and may even be voted on by those of you who are already holders. So again, the sooner you become a holder, the more say you get in what happens with the rest of the project, what we charge for it, what we do with the funds. You want to be in as early as possible. And the actual NFT art, right? It's all going to remain unrevealed at first. You're going to see this placeholder image. It might be a GIF that's talking about the actual piece of art, right? It might say it's locked or something like that. I'm not gonna spoil the actual art piece that's gonna get put into your wallet. But the art itself is designed by a Netflix NFT production artist. They designed a collection for a Netflix TV show. We'll reveal them later, right? But I'm not going to focus on that. I just want you guys to know how credible this artist is. They've done insane 3D mock-up rendering of NFT art that takes that compared to a Bored Ape and drives it and blows it out of the water with the insane quality that we're going to have. The art alone will drive insane attention because most people will never see anything of that quality selling as an NFT. That's going to add prestige to our project. So a community-wide reveal event is when you're going to find out what your actual NFT looks like. You guys kind of know the rough vibe, right? It's a somebody in a business attire wearing a mask that allows it to be anybody, right? It also represents ALTURA's dedication to allowing anybody to partake. It's not a specific face. It doesn't have to be a specific person because it's you. And it also shows your commitment to technology, investing, quite literally wearing technology, being integrated in the system of things and trusting in something bigger. That pin, right? Every NFT is going to have a pin, like a lapel pin that represents their membership in the community. They're going to be of different rarities, and they're going to represent how committed you are into our project. Right? That unites us as a community, a brotherhood or sisterhood. Right? It's not just men that are allowed in. This creates a collective energy. It strengthens the holder's conviction and it rewards belief before results ever occur. So why does this work? Because I've done the research, and again, I do my research now before I start any business because I have to know about the market conditions, and I'm not going to take unnecessary risk. But I can tell you this is guaranteed to work because each phase is going to build anticipation and scarcity. We have up to 800 available on the whitelist. Right? If those sell out, we move to the first phase, which is 2,000 NFTs. If those sell, we move to the second phase, which is 3,000, and then the final phase of another 3,000. At that point, people should be lining up and knocking on my door, probably in this hotel, trying to ask me to buy an NFT. They're going to just see us everywhere. We might be on Times Square. We might be on your Instagram feed. We might be in a Forbes article. It could be anything. We're going to choose a lot of specific high impact mass media to put you guys in. So you owning that NFT is going to almost give you celebrity status because you'll be in the same club as celebrities promoting it. So that alone is another reason to buy our NFT and way worth more than the value you'll be paying on the whitelist. So again, 72 hours after the sellout happens of all of our NFTs, we're going to have the reveal party. That's going to be where everyone gets to see their NFT at one time. There's probably going to be a massive rush to the market as people swap based on rarity. The ones that are more rare than others will probably sell immediately for the highest amount. And obviously, the more you buy, the greater chance you have at getting a rare one. There's also little micro-specific benefits that come from having rarer NFTs than someone else. Those with the rarest NFTs will get added into a private group chat with myself, and we'll have specific conversations that we'll talk about later. But that should, again, according to our market research, strengthen our conviction as holders. That's what NFT projects have proven. It rewards belief before results, and that's really what we're going for. And it also allows price positioning in terms of the actual flow of currency, right? It allows you guys to trade them. It allows collectors to come in. It expands our base. So it doesn't just have to be the tech bro, right? It doesn't have to just be the startup bro. It can be anybody that cares about NFT art in general, because I guarantee in the next few months, as crypto comes back, as altcoins come back, NFTs are going to come back really hard too. So I'm not going to read the entire tactical deliverable, timeline of things. I would encourage you guys to go to alturasociety.com because we have the exact timeline of what's going to happen broken down. You guys can see it in my phone right here, kind of what's going to happen in each phase. That's on the white paper, which is in our Discord. It's also inside of the website. I've hard programmed it in for you guys to be able to see in a very, again, aesthetically pleasing way. alturasociety.com. That's the website. So share it with your friends, share it with anybody that you think actually gives enough of a shit to believe in this project. Because if they're not serious, they're not going to be invited to continue participating. They might have the NFT. They might have, got it for the fair investment value. But the people that are actually going to be benefiting are the people that are going to get the funding, showing up to our meetings, using the subscription, not just the guy that buys it and holds it passively. So invite people that actually want to add value. We actually will put you in right now for an entry in a giveaway. So if you go to Discord and you use /invites, it'll give you a custom invite link. If you share that with your friend and they join, that's one entry for free NFTs. There's going to be multiple given out, and we'll measure that based on how active you guys are in helping us grow our community. So finally, I want to kind of talk about this manifesto as a whole and what we've done today, not only, but with this project. If you guys just joined, or maybe you joined in the middle of me talking, this should be the takeaway that you guys think about as you reflect and as you start to really consider if you want to be a member of this or not. If you don't, go share it with somebody who does. Go like our post, but please, I wouldn't ask that you invest just because we want to maximize utility, how much our members give a shit, how much they care about each other. and how much they actually want to take this vision and transform it into reality. I want to do that so bad, but I can't create a community with myself. I can talk to AI all day, but that's not really going to drive value and give me a business partner to quite literally sit down with in a hotel and talk through things. You guys have to do that. You have to believe that other people will come. You have to share the message. You have to share invites. I'm asking you guys for help building this because other projects don't. Other projects just rely on hype marketing. And I've done all that stuff. But if we really want to take this and show the world why we're different, then you guys better play your part too. It's responsibility. But that's the same responsibility that I had to have to start my second, my third, my fourth, my fifth startup after I realized what actually worked from my first time. Does that make sense? You guys have to play a role. And the fact that I'm asking you to do something, that I'm asking you to partake versus just buying this should show how much we need a community and why we're so different from everybody else on the market. We're not just another server. Please don't think just because we're on Discord that we're a Discord server as a concept, right? No. We're probably eventually going to move off Discord, but Discord has all the tested infrastructure to verify your NFT ownership in real time, to let you in private channels, to protect our and secure our chats and remove people that are causing harm to us. It's not another short-term hype machine. It's not going to end because in 5 years, we're still going to be stronger. We're going to have millions of followers. We're going to have a YouTube channel. We're going to have investments in every part of the world. And you guys are going to get to benefit from the value of your access pass going up because of that. And again, I've mentioned cryptocurrency. I've mentioned all these other opportunities that you'll find out about once you're inside to really create 6, 7, even 8-figure income. ALTURA is a 100-year experiment in sovereignty, wealth, and most importantly, belief in collaboration as people in a world that just doesn't seem to have it anymore. We're testament to the fact that humanity isn't dead. That as big and as strange as our world's going to get, that we can come back together and work as one. We exist to give power back to entrepreneurs. An entrepreneur could be a 55-year-old man that has nothing going for his life, is sitting in his car watching this video and having a midlife crisis. Or it's a 21-year-old that is in school and is tired, feeling like homework is the only point of his life, that doesn't know what he's going to do, that hears the job market sucks and wants a way out, and has been trying to make it for so long. And it's anybody in between. It's also me, it's you. It doesn't have a face, and that's why our NFTs don't either. Take the tools of the elite to take them, the funding, the networks, the knowledge, and the access that these private, PayPal mafias get access to when they're billionaires that they don't let the average person into, and deliver them to builders who would otherwise be locked out because you don't have the right last name or you weren't born to the right family. Every great shift in human history happens and began with a small group of individuals who believed before the world ever caught up. And by the time the world did, it was too great to not talk about. And that's what gets written in the history books. You're going to read, your grandchildren are going to read about a movement that happened in the early 2020s, I guess the mid 2020s, about a group of people in the US starting to form up online and talk about the way the world's operating and start to pool their resources and start this collective thought, this collective collaboration to bring the world together in a global system of elite syndicate startup and change entrepreneurship, change business forever, and take power back from the Fortune 500 companies. The Renaissance, the Enlightenment, the early days of Silicon Valley, each was sparked by people that were willing to believe in one another. Show that you believe by putting a couple $100 up and immediately seeing thousands of dollars of benefit. That's the first test, because most of you could afford that. That's why I priced it extremely cheap. I could have priced this at $3,000 in NFT because we're obviously delivering that amount of value. But I want you guys to immediately see the value go up. I want you to, right after you take action, see the value of how much profit you're making because you took the leap of faith. And I also want you to be able to invite your friends and anybody to get in. People that don't have the resources should be able to start in our project because we're going to have so many other ways to make you rich in addition to the NFT if you are a holder. But again, those remain in the future for now. Altura is the next circle, though. It's a syndicate for entrepreneurs, for builders, and visionaries who understand that success is not given, it is created. By holding an Altura NFT, you pass the first test, belief before evidence. You choose to stand in a private society where new fortunes will be built, new companies will be launched, and a new model of collaboration will be proven. I'm telling you that. You have my word, my personal word, looking at you in the camera right now. Only 8,888 will ever exist in this collection. The door will not remain open forever. The question is simple. Will you stand outside and watch, or will you enter the syndicate in the biggest decision of your life? I'm Caleb Schulke. This is the Ascended Podcast. I will see you guys in the Discord. Feel free to hop in, start participating, and be active, and have a great rest of your weekend. Take care.